What is going on, guys? This is obviously Jordan here, back again with another video. And today we are going to go back into another story time. That's because my last story time about how I got banned from the high street. Oh man. My other story time video about why I got banned from the high street ended up doing way better than I thought it would. Far more views than I thought people would give to it. And I don't know why. Like, I put a poll up in my video about how I felt first year, and I ended up getting like so many responses saying yes. I want to hear you talk about a story. So I told my story, and I'm like, wait, what? People asked for this, and now they're watching it? That doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. So I thought, you know what? Screw it. Let me go back, put out another storytime video. For the longest time, I was thinking, like, what's a cool story to even go into? Like, I feel like there's so many. Obviously, for most of us, as you grow up, you end up doing things that are interesting to you and to your friend group. But I was like, what's actually interesting beyond just my group, that people that I can tell that would sound fun? And obviously the best story that I could remember at the time, for some reason, I don't know what sort of mood I was in, but it was about the time that I got mugged growing up, in and around London. You know what? I probably shouldn't be doing this video in my school leavers hoodie. I don't want people to know about the antics. And it's probably, why is my channel named after my whole government name? I should... Nah. All right, so this is Sebastian Keller here, talking about the time a friend of mine got robbed when he was growing up back in the school days. I'm busting joke, obviously. I committed to this, to changing top. I don't know why. Whatever, it don't matter. Let's go into this story. Let's go. Leading up to this incident, well, to be fair, a lot of content is needed here. Where it's like, growing up, I lived in an area, an area like a rural, not a rural. I was gonna say a rural urban area, like the RUF, you learn geography, but it's actually just a dense, populous, residential area. That's what I was looking for, residential area. So it's like loads of houses. There's like a park. There's like a school. It's kind of like a village, I guess, and you can compare it to a village, but it's very like not villagey like it is in London. It's just it's dense like most of London is. But anyway, so what that meant was, as I was growing up, this is before, like, I only really got a phone when I was older in life. When I was older in young life, I should say, not older in life. But when I was a kid, I never had that. I never had social media really growing up. I never had a phone. I never really had access to the internet in my household because of financial stability issues and things like that. But it meant that I spent a lot of time going to my neighbours, knocking on doors, going outside, kicking football, kicking ball, going to the park, riding the bike, kicking other balls, playing basketball, whatever. Like, I'll do kid-like things, as you do when you're a kid. But unlike in school, when you're in the real world, obviously there are no fences, there's no like structure per se, it's not organized. So you can meet people from any ridiculous background, like rich people, poor people, middle class, people older than you, younger than you, same age as you. If you go to like a single sex school, you can meet people who aren't the same sex as you in the real world. If you didn't know that, maybe it's time you learn that. But it's like, it's not controlled. So you meet some crazy people out in the world, and even though I didn't meet anyone crazy, I met people who were older than me, who were younger than me, of course. And what that meant is that, as I said, people who are older and younger, so the youngers, you kind of know what they're going through because you've been through it. But when you're, 11, 12, 13 years old, it's hard to directly relate to a 16, 17, 18-year-old, even though you haven't actually progressed that. Like, when I was 17, well, to be fair, when I was 16, 17, I was a bit more progressed than a 13-year-old myself. But as when I'm 14, 15, 16 to a degree, you're still in the same like ballpark. You don't really, life doesn't change that much until you really get to like 17, 18, and then once you finish school and escape that bubble. But there are people obviously that started drinking when I was still younger. I never drank, but obviously the older kids were allowed to do this stuff. They started like smoking and stuff, which I hadn't. Oh. I feel the need to preface this part of the story by saying that don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. I know I'm laughing, but don't do drugs. That's no joke. I don't even do hard drugs. I don't even know why I'm taking this to heart so seriously. But I just feel compelled to preface this part of the story by saying that not to do any drugs, or don't drink until it's legal. but yeah, when I was 12, I hadn't Okay, so as a 12-year-old, who unaware of what drugs were, entirely unaware. Obviously, I didn't even know the word drugs as a 12-year-old, right? Whereas now I do know the word, but back then I didn't know the word. So they started doing this. Some of the people in my group that I knew from my area, as they were growing old, as I said, they started to drink more because they were allowed to. Some of them started smoking weed because they happened to know people who also did that. And yeah, that was an interesting experience growing up. I never tried it as a kid or ever. But yeah, so people around me were doing things like that. And what that meant was that the older generation, well, not even generation, but the older kids started to be a bit more divided, I guess, from the younger kids. Because as I said, there are certain things that we just couldn't, like we literally couldn't do as like a 13-year-old. Like I literally can't go out and buy drinks. I could have asked them to in theory. I know a lot of kids, there's the idea that kids do that. They ask older people to buy drinks stuff for them. But for me, being an ethnic minority with mad parents, like that was never really an option for me. I wasn't prepared to hold, a wooden spoon because I wanted to drink something. This isn't alcohol. This is just apple juice. But some drinks just don't taste very good, especially after you brush your teeth, which was like at 6 o'clock when I was a kid. So it's a bit peak. But as I said, the olders and the youngers and the even youngers started to get increasingly divided and started to spread more apart. And that was also superimposed on top of that by the development of social media. People started to get phones now. They're starting to talk to some of the kids that were like in year 10, 11 when I was talking to their other friends in year 10 and 11. Whereas me, I was like year 7, year 8. I was starting to talk on Facebook a little bit more to people in my my year group, but it was never like fully flush until I was a bit older in life. But yeah, we were starting to get more divided, and it meant that there was starting to be. Okay, so I guess one thing was that they started to hang out with people that were not from our local area, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But another thing that makes that a bad thing is that the people that they bring into their lives don't necessarily fit the mold of what your area group was. And that's still not necessarily a bad thing intrinsically, but I think when you have people with so many different age groups and so many different experiences and backgrounds, it makes it harder to maintain, having things in common when you grow up. Which, as I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but in this case, it's meant it was a bit difficult for me. Anyway, so now fast forward like 3 years into life when I'm starting to see some of the olders around, but we don't really talk like that anymore. And I think I was like 15, it wasn't 15, probably like 14, maybe 15 at this time. So I was becoming, quote unquote, an older. But then the olders, as I say, we weren't really close to anymore. Didn't really know them like that. They had a lot of new friends. They started doing their drinking a lot more and things like that. So it was kind of a bit weird. And then me and one of my friends, for some reason, as I said earlier, I was never the best at expressing myself. Again, I was 14, 15. And one of the oldest friends, he gets on the bus with me. I'm sitting in the back with my friend, and then the older guy, let's just call him, I realize I can just call this guy whatever I want. Even if I say his real name, none of you guys will even know the guy. But for the sake of conversation, his name was Rick. So Rick, Ricky's sitting there, yeah, young Ricky and that. He's just sitting there, like I'm literally seeing it in my head. Anyway, he's sitting there. I'm with my friend. We're like enjoy talking about 15-year-old stuff, nonsense, on our phone, texting, whatever. And this guy's just sitting there looking at me, and I'm like, in my head, like looking back, maybe he's just looking at me because he knew me. He fucking knew me from somewhere. He's like, oh, he's Morty's friend. So, he's younger. Let me just like keep an eye on him, whatever. I don't know. But at the time, I'm sitting there with my mate, and I'm looking at young Ricky just looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, yo, is this guy looking at me, fam? What's this guy looking at, blood? So this guy gets off the bus. A couple of stops later, he gets off the bus. That is stop, as you do, innit? And then me and my friend, I don't know what came, like, because obviously I told him that he was aware this guy was looking at us. And then as 14, 13-year-olds do, 15-year-olds, we're like, yeah, he's looking at you, fam. Yeah, he's looking at, what's he looking at, fam? What's he looking at? I'm like, I don't know, fam. Yo, should we jump him? And I wasn't even that type of kid. I wasn't that type of kid at all. I just see this guy looking at him, I'm like, yo, what's this guy looking at? Madness. But anyway, he gets off the bus, and me and my friend have been like going back and forth for a little while. Oh, this guy's looking at us. So he gets off the bus. He's walking behind. He walks past us. We're looking at each other, kind of like what's gonna happen here? As he's walking away, he's still making eye contact with us. I'm like, yo. And my friend, thinking he's this big man, stands up, starts showing two fingers. Can't really remember which fingers he was showing, but anyway, doesn't matter. He was showing two fingers at him, and I was like, I'm like, you know what? He's doing it. Let me do it as well, because to me it was a joke. Like me and him were joking about, we're messing around, and obviously, as I said, as a kid, that's not really communicating very well. So, so now there's like two of the like local youngsters, you know, the YGs, whatever. Showing a select amount of undefined fingers at an older kid walking off the bus for no reason, after just like staring man down for however many minutes. So that was the precursor. That was obviously the start of a bit of tension within the local group. So now we fast forward like maybe even like 1, if not even 2 days, and now I'm on the bus on the way home, and I think I was in detention from school for some nonsense, because that's another comment. We'll talk about school and detention in another video. But I was in the detention for whatever reason. You know, me and the other black kids, for, I don't know, some coincidence there. But I'm on the bus home late from school. Most of my friends in my area are, you know, the well-behaved ones. So they were long gone. I was like by myself in the back of the bus. And then I see my man, get on the bus with his boy. I'm like, you finished school like 2 days ago. Like, why are you getting on my bus? So anyway, whatever, innit? I didn't think anything of it. I was sitting there, I had my headphones in back when I was a kid. I'm just sitting there minding my own business, looking out the window, whatever. But I kind of knew, like, as this guy came up the stairs, he was kind of like, I can't really explain it, but you know, on the bus, on the London bus, if you're sitting facing the front, it's like, it goes normally, and then the staircase, like here on the, it's like this one, I think, this hand, it's like there on the right, but it's like lower, so you come up onto the platform. So I kind of see this guy walking up here, and as he comes up, he kind of catches me like this, on the side of his head. He comes around, watches me the whole way. Or when he sits down, like 6 rows in front of me. 6 rows, not columns, 6 rows in front of me. And every now and then, he's kind of just turning around. Like, just making that look, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking like, yo, I'm like, yeah, fam, because as I said, I'm a young buck at the time. I'm like 15 years old. I don't know any better. I'd never really been in a fight. I still haven't really been in a fight. And I'm just, because you kind of just know, like, when it's, you know what I mean? I'm like, bruv, like, I'm ready, fam. So basically, I'm on the bus. I get off at the last stop of this undefined bus, and I think he lives like behind my house. But basically, there's like, actually, no. Let me not explain too much. But we live in the same area basically, so we go for the same stop. And as I said, he's looking back with his boy, looking back at me, and I'm like, when I first got on the bus, I was like, let's go, fam, let's go. And as like the next stop and the next stop and the next stop, you know, that I think it was Mike Tyson. He's like, everyone's got a plan to get hit in the face. Each bus stop was like a consecutive hit in the face. I'm like, you know what? I'm not really ready for this. Like, I haven't even eaten yet. You know, so I just come from detention. I got things in my mind. You know, I was talking to I messaged that girl on Facebook last night. She never replied. And because my phone didn't have like unlimited data, I couldn't. And this is before App Store and stuff like that. This is before the apps. So I couldn't even like go on Facebook. I could have gone on the browser, but that's too long, fam. So I didn't even check Facebook. I messaged her like 8 o'clock, you know, at night. It was like bare late, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., you know, just before EastEnders, isn't it? And I sent that message, never replied to me. And I'm feeling this type of way. I haven't eaten yet. And now my man's I'm like, you know what? I can't, if you confronted me at the last bus stop, then it would have been a different story, but I'm not down anymore. But anyway, so now it's looking peak, yeah. I see the bus stop to the last stop. I'm like, let me let him get off first, and then, you know, then I'll go. I don't want to be in an occurrence where I'm walking past and then it's a confrontation. I'd rather I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can. So I sit at the back. I'm waiting there. He's waiting there. We're just waiting there, yeah. Bus driver plays that thing. He's saying, this is the last stop. The bus is terminated. Please get off the bus. I'm still sitting there like, like, well, yeah, hey, I'll go on. This guy, eventually they get off the bus. They get off the bus. They walk down. And to get to my yard, to get to my house, yeah, I'm speaking like one of my own now. Back when I was a youngster, a young buck, yeah. They get back to yard. You have to go through an alleyway. I mean, there are like the road because it's a residential area. It's obviously segmented off into like squares, like square regions. So you can go either way, straight or left, well, right or straight, and then come around to where I live, like following the car way. But I just prefer to walk through the alley because it's quicker and it just makes way more sense when you're on foot. So obviously I said they got off first. I'm walking back. I know for a fact that I have to go through the alleyway to get home, but he doesn't. So when I see my man, yeah, walk up to the alleyway with his boy, and they're both standing up, and there's obviously in the alleyway, you know how it works, there's like two walls. There's like that, yeah. So there's one guy standing on this wall, one guy's standing on that wall. I'm like, yo, you don't even live that way. You don't even live that way. Like, what? So I'm like, all right, say no more. So I slightly this is back before touchscreens. So I had to literally it was like my screen just turned on. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it had the hashtag, the star and the 0 at the bottom. So I'm trying to and obviously the letters are like ABC is on the 1, and it's like DEF is on the 2, and it's like bare. And I'm trying to quickly say, yo bro, I told to my brother, come around the corner quick, I'm about to get rushed or something. Because I knew it. I don't like this story anymore. So I'm walking down towards the alleyway now, yeah. And I see these two men standing there with one, the hand in their pocket, kind of they're kind of trying to look intimidating, innit? And I'm like, the thing is, man, So I know what's going to happen. I can see them. I know exactly what's going to happen. So I decided to text my brother quick, said, yo, come, pull up, fam. Pull up. Look, it's my little brother as well. It's not even like I'm the oldest of 5. So it's not like I've got an older, it's not like I was 15 with a 22-year-old for backup. I'm like, yo, fam, come around the corner, drive, pick me up, whatever. And it's he's like a year below me. I'm like, yo, I don't think he saw it. He must have been having dinner at the time, whatever. So he didn't see the message. I'm waiting there. I'm walking bare slow, just begging my phone to vibrate so I can be like, yo, come get me, fam. No vibration. I'm getting closer, across the road, getting closer to the alleyway. I'm like, nah, fam, not today. So I dip. I just go right. I dip. Run. I just run. Literally for 5. I don't know. To be in hindsight, I should have just kept going. But I ran for 10 seconds. Halfway down the road. I look back. No one's there. Calm. All right, I'm safe. I'm safe. Stop running. Now I'm just walking. I'm kind of panting a bit. I'm like, okay, I got some space. Damn, man, they're a little way back. Put my headphones back in. Mind my own. Whistling to myself. Oh, happy days. All of this. Get around the corner now, yeah. Get around the corner now, yeah. Them man say, yo. Yo. What you got for me, fam? What you got for me? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. What do I got, fam? I ain't got nothing. Yeah, I just came from school. The tension, they confiscated my phone. Oh, these headphones? Nah, I found them in the bush, mate. They're not even plugged into nothing. These are just, I ain't got nothing for you, fam. I don't. And in hindsight, it wasn't even that intimidating, to be fair. I should have been way more prepared for that. I was just, as I said, I was hungry. The girl didn't reply to my message. I was baffed. They're sitting there, yeah. I'm annoyed at myself now. I'm standing there. These two men are in front of me. As I said, they're old, isn't it? So I was 13, 14, 15. These thought, no, I wasn't. I was doing my GCSEs. So I would have been 14 or 15. Okay, yeah, 14 or 15, fine. I was right. But I'm walking down, as I said, these are olders, yeah. Olders, and this is my block. My ends, fam. They're standing there. What you got for me? Nothing. I ain't got nothing, man. Yo, I ain't got nothing. What you got for me? I saw you on your phone in the bus, Huh? Me? I walked home. I didn't get no bus. What? Yo. What are you on about, fam? They won't have. Obviously, it was peak, and it was peak. They said, "Yo, don't." The guy was like, "Look, I'll stab you." I'm like, you know what? As soon as you said, I'll stab you, I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth it no more. I didn't even have to see it because even if he didn't have a knife, as I said, I'd already ran for a couple of seconds. I was already kind of tired. I'm joking about not eating, but I literally hadn't eaten, so I didn't have full energy, and my health bar was a bit low right now. I'm a bit tired still. So I'm standing there, my hands in my pocket. I'm just holding the phone. I'm like, allow it, fam. Allow it. Feds, whenever you need the police, they are never there. They are never there. He's like, yo, I got a knife. They don't make me start. He didn't say. He said, yo, my boy's got a knife. I'll let him stab you and just give me your phone. And his friend's kind of like, he had like it was a coat. It was like obviously the puffer jacket. You man know about them puffer jackets, them way there. That he kind of pulls it up. He puts his hand inside, and he starts like holding something and like making that. He's probably just making a fist in his pocket. As far as I don't even know. I have no idea. And in hindsight, I was smaller. I was more agile. I could have just duck off, run that way, fam. But when I knew where he lived, he knew where I lived. I clocked in my head like, you know what? If I give him my phone, yeah. If I say no and he does have a knife, I'm dead. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, I'm out. If I say, fine, here's my phone, and, you know, he lets me go, bro, I know where you live, fam. I know you. I still know you, yeah? Don't let this video get you confused. I know you. So I give him my phone. I'm like, you know what, forget it. I'm like, forget it, yeah? These feds ain't coming. You know, my brother ain't hit me back. You know, when I need you lot the most, yeah? You leave me out on the cold. Say no more. I remember that to this day. So I give them my phone, kiss my teeth, and I'm like, I'll get you, fam. Obviously not. I give them my phone, I'm shook. I walk away. They were like, oh, walk faster. I turn back. And at this point, as I said, like I did the maths in my head. I'm like, you know, it's not even worth it. I know where they live. Like, I'll get him back. And I was saying to myself in my head, I'll get him back. I'm walking away. They're kind of standing there, just holding my phone. You know, they're standing on the edge of the road, decided using my phone, trying to get into it. It had a password anyway. But anyway, they were looking at me like, yo, walk faster, bro. Walk faster, bro. I turn back. I'll just keep walking. I don't speed up, don't slow down, nothing. I just keep walking. They say, walk faster, for they start shouting. I'm like, I'm in my head, I just know, like, I'm coming. So anyway, I get home. That was time. I lost my phone, basically. Lost my phone. That's the end of the story. That's how the story ends. But I lose my phone. I get back. I go to my brother, yeah? I'm like, bruv, I messaged you, yeah? Where's your phone? That's what I was going to say, my phone. He's like, oh, it's upstairs. Yeah, why? What's up? I'm like, I just got robbed, bruv. I got robbed like, around the corner. By Ricky. He's like, swear, Ricky robbed you, fam. Man. We were like clued in our room for a good like 30 minutes to an hour. I was like, look, we're going to have a couple man this corner there, yeah? You get your boys from school, have a couple man that corner there, yeah? You know, I'll get a couple man in that corner there. We need one guy on every bus just to make sure the second you see that kid, report back. We got to know what's going on, yeah? We got to be in the loop. we got to set man up. Obviously, like, we're talking for time. The plan was actually very concrete, to be fair. Never came into fruition, unfortunately, but the plan was in motion. All I needed was like 20 more minutes, but then my mum walks into the room. She's like, that's like you two, fam. What's up? You've been sitting there for like an hour. Usually you're talking about girls or something, Arsenal or something. She's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? And my brother's like, yeah, Jordan got robbed. I'm like, bro, why are you telling her this? We had a full plan in motion. But he told her, Mum loses the plot. She's like, what? You got... Oh, who was it? I said, oh, it was Rick. She's like, it was Rick. She's like, you're a snake, bro. Why are you telling me that? My own mum called me a snake. Like that. She never said that, obviously. But she said, she's coming to me about this. Yeah, what happened, blah, blah, blah. I spoke to her what happened. She goes, I swear. She loses the plot. She's like, yeah. I remember because we grew up in Notting Hill, like Ladbroke Grove ends. Yeah, obviously we knew. I was never involved in gangs, never involved in that life. But I knew people who were, and my mum knew people who were as well. So she was like, what? Ricky? She's like, yo, fam. She literally said to me, not obviously without the yo, fam, this isn't verbatim. But she's like, bruv, like, I know, look, don't, if I gotta make a call, I'll make it. If I gotta make a call, I'll make it. I'll get them man down. Goes to my dad, yeah. She's like, yo, Mark. She goes, Mark. Mark's my dad's name. Yo, Mark, fam. No, Jordan got robbed. Yo, what are we gonna do? And now they're in the room for half an hour to an hour scheming and that. Say, yeah, we've got a couple man there, yeah. Couple man there. I'm like sitting in my room watching like kidulthood, like, yeah, fam. Yeah, I know how this is gonna play out. Eventually, my dad, it was obviously the smarter one out of all of us, surprisingly. He comes out like, nah, look, we know the guy who we know Morty who knows Rick, so we're gonna go to Morty, say, yo, what's Rick's number? We'll talk to him, in a civilized manner, get your phone back and it's calm. So we go to Morty, say, yo, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Give me Rick's number. Now Morty's kind of like, huh? I don't know him. All this like, yada, yada, yada. Eventually we get the number. My dad calls him. Yo, Rick. Rick's like, yeah, who this? Yo, this is Jordan's dad. We need his phone back now. Rick's like, are you mad? They start, and my dad loses it. He lost it so quickly. You talk about composed, you know, old. You talk about the olders as you get older and mature. But man's like, what? You talking back to me? And Rick's just like laughing because it's on speaker. He's laughing in the phone. He gives the phone to his brother. Yeah, like this is called him Big Rick. Yeah, Big Rick's on the phone. Like, yo, what are you saying to my brother, fam? My dad's like, oh, F. Oh. My dad's losing it. My dad's gone off the plot. I was like, yo. I'm like, hey. I'm like, this. I was never so proud of my dad. I'm not going to talk about family in this video, innit? But I was never. That's the one time in my life I've ever not hated my dad. I was proud of that guy. I'm like, yeah, fam. Like, yeah, roast that 15-year-old. Yeah. Didn't work out so well. The guy ended up hanging up. I think my dad's like, look, I'm going to call the police. Just get the effing phone back in. I'm calling the police, get it sorted out, blah, blah, blah. Mum's like, relax, man. Mum's like, relax, he's a kid, you know. He's a young buck as well, relax. Eventually, yeah, we called the police. Police go, take the kid. Rick, I can't remember, I don't actually know. Like, I haven't spoken to him since, obviously. Or I think Morty actually moved not long after this incident. So the police get Rick. They find Rick on road. He gets given like community service, I think, or he's in some trouble. And then the police, yeah, this is what annoyed me the most. The police have done this twice to me. I've only been robbed at one time, but they've done it twice to me. I've lost something. Once through the robbery, once through my bike. Well, to be fair, it was actually stolen as well. That's another story for another day. My bike was stolen. Both of these times, they go to the police station. We talk for a bit. Yeah, details. Yeah. And they say, okay, cool. If you want this back, now you got to pay £200. I was robbed. Are you mad? Now I'm getting robbed by the police, by the system. I'm gonna get mad. But anyway. So I paid the money. Yeah. Get my phone back now, and then the next day, I swear to you, I'm back. Now I'm living my life. Like yeah. Actually, you know what? That's a bit of a lie. I didn't get the phone back straight away. I got the phone, but they kept the battery. I think. Well, they kept the SIM card to like check if he made any calls or whatever. Then I got that back as well afterwards. But yeah, so I'm going home, minding my own. Yeah, my man's doing community service, whatever. They ain't gonna touch me, yeah. Now the bus is coming around the corner, and like I live by a shopping parade, so it's like quite an open space. You come around the corner, there's like shops around, like in a diamond shape, but you can see across like the parade, I guess. Bus comes around the corner now, yeah, and I see my man's mum, like Mrs. Rick. I'm like, what? Like, what? You two? You want this smoke? You want this smoke? So I get off the bus, and I'm like, my mum, she picked the perfect time. I swear, mum picked the perfect time. Because as I'm getting off, I see my mum coming around the corner. I don't know why she was coming, to be fair. Maybe she's coming to get me or something to like, make sure I was safe, whatever. She comes round, she sees my man's mum, and I chat, and mum's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And I hear her mouthing to my mum, your son this, your son that, he never took the phone, blah, 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 and now you got him in trouble for no reason. Mum's like, bro, we went to the station. They got the phone from him. Your son's not innocent here. She's like, after a while, my mum was composed. Again, I was proud of my mum this time as well. And the kid's mum was like, oh, I didn't raise him like that. And in my head, I'm like, so who raised him, fam? If not you, then who? If not you, then who? Anyway, I was young. I didn't say much. I was kind of standing there minding my own, letting my mum handle it. So they ended up being cool. I say cool. Like the situation resolved itself. We went our separate ways. I went home, got my SIM card back from the police, and that's the end of the story. The moral of the story, I guess, is don't do things that will damage people. Just don't get in fights in it. Like that's literally the only one time where I've regretted something. I don't even regret it because it led to a funny story. But it's a thing where like there are people in the world that will attack you, that will fight you, that will take your stuff if you annoy them. It's annoying. It's like, just because I get it, and I get it. Like, it's not up to me. It's not like, I called you this, so why are you hitting me for? Like, it's not up to me to say like how you can retaliate. The saying like all's fair in love and war. Like, if I like throw a bottle at you, like a plastic water bottle, even though I know, it's not gonna hurt. Someone else that could be like a declaration of war in it. And I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm not saying that's how it should be. But I have no right to determine where someone else's trigger point is. I can't be like, oh, you can't get mad at me for that. I was joking, whatever. Like if your level is here or there or wherever, that's up to you, innit? That's independent. That's personal to whoever you're talking smack to at the time. So if I again throw a bottle at someone, or if I show indiscretionary, undefined fingers at someone, I have to be prepared to take whatever consequences come with that, unfortunately. And the lesson of that, of what the story is, don't test someone's what's the word? There's a word for it. Don't say reserve, I guess. Don't test someone's reserve, because you have no idea what they've been through or what they might take, what they might be okay with. You might be someone, I'm very tolerant. I'll take a lot before I get mad. Whereas I know people out there who are very intolerant, that they won't take much. So you poke them once and it's like, they're going for you. So just the moral of the story is just don't test people's reserve, especially when all bets are off and it comes down to it. You're not prepared to take the juice. Obviously, I was prepared. I mean, obviously, I wasn't prepared to fight or anything. But I gave them my phone. I came out of it okay. But I feel like I, to some degree, won a situation. Before guys go say, "Oh, you're a snitch," because I know people. I heard that at the time, and so people were saying at the time, "Oh, you're a snitch." Fam, I don't owe this guy nothing, fam. I don't owe this guy nothing. If I'm check out that Snitches and Rats, yeah. 21 Savage, Morgan Freeman, they did their juice on that interlude on that track, yeah. A snitch, yeah, someone who I don't want to just quote the song straight up, innit? But I guess the idea is there are rats who was you betray your own people, innit? Like if I'm in that group and we're all doing drugs together, yeah, and then the police come and say, no, it wasn't me, I wasn't involved, it was all them. That's a rat. That's disgusting. That's I kind of get it. You're looking out for yourself, but at the same time, those are your people, and you're turning your back for your own personal gain. I think that's nuts. A snitch, in the context of the song, is someone who you keep an eye on that. You're not involved in it, but when the opportunity presents itself to taking advantage of that, then you attack, then you snitch on them. It's still kind of wrong. You're still involving yourself with someone else's business for personal gain, but it's not as bad as being a rat. Is what Morgan Freeman suggested in this song. But in my case, I was minding my own damn business. They came to me. You're sloppy. you two are sloppy, fam. You should have been wearing masks. Take the phone. Then I don't know who it is. I can't do anything. I shouldn't be giving this advice on YouTube. But if you're sloppy, yeah, if you're committing a crime, you're doing something dumb, and you're sloppy, and then someone tells you off for it, they ain't no snitch. You're just a sloppy guy, man. You just don't know what you're doing. You're in the wrong line of business. Get an internship, flip some burgers or something. Relax on the street thing. Relax on the street thing. But yeah, that's it. That's all for me. That's all for me. That's the moral again. I want to be ultra fine here. It's don't test people's reserve, and only challenge. What you Don't deal with someone that's willing to give up more than you are. If you're going to fight someone or if you're going to annoy someone, make sure the terms are specified in a legally binding contract. So what you're going to get. Otherwise don't engage. Don't engage, man. It just so isn't worth it. And I guess another moral as well, if you are in that position with someone's got a knife or a gun, even to be fair, with me, it was just the demand. It wasn't worth it to me. But if you are in that position, think about what's worth more. Is it worth getting stabbed? Is it worth getting shot? Is it worth... I mean, when it comes to reserve, you might even want to see that yourself. You might want to see it. Say, yo, show me. If you ain't got it, then get my phone, innit? But but at the same time, it's all about, as I said, what you're prepared to take and what your risk level is for tolerance. Your tolerance to risk is. So yeah, I guess know yourself, and if you don't understand someone, don't test them, because it's just not worth it.